Oh! How's it going, Reader fam? It's Razareg, back at you again. Today, we will be reviewing this Canon Auto Zoom 5/18 Super 8 camera from the late 60s or early 70s. I'm not really exactly sure what time period, but basically we'll just be reviewing the Super 8 camera right here. Now, I know a long time ago I made a video on how to use an alternate power source for these batteries here for the light meter, because the batteries for this compartment right here you can't really get anymore. So yeah, I remember making a video about that, and that video is apparently the most popular video in my YouTube channel with about 1,000 views, I believe. I can't really remember. Well, today I decided to bring back this bad boy right here and make a review on how this thing works and how to operate this thing, basically. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, right here is the battery compartment where you put the batteries in order to operate the Super 8 camera. And as you can see, there's batteries loaded into this thing. Just load your batteries into this compartment here, and once you're done, just slide this metal cover back in like this. Now for this part, you're gonna have to use a coin or some round object or something else to open this part right here. And this is the battery compartment where you're able to adjust the zoom features on this camera. So if I could put this thing back together. If I toggle the thing, you'll notice. You hear that noise? Let's turn over to the other side. Yeah, so that's the purpose of putting that battery into that grip thing right there. Now this is the battery compartment where you put the button cell batteries to power the light meter. But the original source for these kinds of batteries are kind of hard to find now. You can't really find the batteries for them. So what I did was, as you can see, there's like bits of aluminum foil in this thing. Well, if we go down, you'll notice there is a button cell battery right there. I'm using a CR1632 3-volt button cell battery to power this thing, and put some aluminum foil to complete the terminals, basically. If you'd like to learn more on how I was able to find an alternative power source, you can go ahead and watch my Super 8 light meter battery hack video. But yeah, that's basically pretty much it here. Here is the adjustment where you adjust the aperture of the camera. This one uses manual, but my best recommendation is to set the aperture at auto, so that if you're filming at different lighting settings, the aperture is going to adjust automatically. So with the camera set at auto for the light meter, we're going to go ahead and test it out. Okay, here we are in viewfinder mode, and as you can see, there's like numbers on the top. Well, those numbers indicate the aperture of this camera, and since it's at auto adjustment, the aperture is going to adjust based on the lighting conditions. So when I move this up to the light, you can see the needle on the top, it automatically adjusts. And when I move away from the light, you can see it moving back.
Underneath the camera there are these white and red buttons, and basically what these buttons do is test the strength of the battery, basically, to see if the batteries are full or empty. This is the indicator, and when I press the red button, you will see that the needle is in the blue area, which means that the batteries are good. And if I do the same thing for the light meter battery, it also does the same. There's also this feature on the handle of the Super 8 camera, and as you can see, this one is using a daylight filter. This is where you adjust the filters for this camera. If you push it upwards, there's a tungsten filter. To revert back to daylight, just simply press this button right here. Now in order to operate this camera, just press this thing right here. Alright, so this is how you load the Super 8 film cartridge. Now unfortunately I don't have a Super 8 film cartridge at my disposal, but as you can see, this is where you open this door and you load your Super 8 cartridge right in there. There's also this adjustment, which I can't really tell what it is, but it seems to control if you can run the Super 8 camera or not. I wonder what this R means. And then when I put it over here, nothing happens. Same thing happens when I put it to L. And apparently there's this thing right here. I'm not really exactly sure what's the purpose of this. And this little dial right here. If any of you know about the purpose of this thing, please let me know. You can also adjust how many frames per second this camera runs on. So right here, this is at 18 frames per second. So there's 18 frames per second. Now when I put it at slow motion, it moves at a faster pace. Now I'm not sure how many frames per second is that, but as you can see, you can adjust whether you can film in slow motion, which runs at a faster rate, or you can shoot at the regular 18 frames per second. Now I wish this camera had 24 frames per second option, but apparently this one doesn't have one. I heard the Canon Auto Zoom 814 Super 8 camera does have a 24 frames per second option, but unfortunately I don't have that. In order to start filming with this camera, there are a couple of things that we need to do first. Alright, so I'm in the viewfinder, and the first thing that we need to do is to zoom in using the zoom ring. And as you can see, the image is blurry, so what we're going to do next is use the focus ring to adjust the focus of this Super 8 camera. Here we go, the image is focused. Now we zoom out. Alright, so once you have everything ready, you've adjusted the lens, you've focused and zoomed in, you have added a Super 8 cartridge inside this camera, you can go ahead and take it out for a spin.
Oh, well that's it for this video, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. And as always, I've got faith in you, because it's a razor love.